Hey, everybody.
All right, you guys, how's it going? We're back again, Bumpkinbros,
Another
with
podcast
another,
episode.
podcast episode. And today, what are we discussing, Riley?
Today, this is a different type of video. We haven't done something like this yet. We're not talking about a video game specifically, but a bunch of video games. Today, we are going through each year since we've been born, which is 2002, for any of you wondering, and going to present day 2024 and talking about pretty much our favorite games from each year.
But we'll
And
also be kind of like brushing upon the different, like, major big titles that we might have played or you guys may have played out there. Not all of these
yeah,
titles we may have necessarily played, but
exactly.
they have a big impact on the gaming community, and through those different games we're going to pick out like which ones we personally liked out of that year. If that
Exactly. Yes.
So hopefully the
Perfect way of
concept
saying
makes
that.
sense to you guys, and we're going to get
Yes. If
right on
it
into it.
doesn't, then our bad.
You'll soon figure it out. But essentially we're picking our favorite game that came out during that particular year. So if it came out, like, we could have been playing different games during that year, but we
Yeah.
still have to pick a favorite that did come out that year, that maybe
From
because we maybe played that game later on during our life or something like that, but we still have a
exactly.
soft spot for that game where we played it a couple years in a row. But
Right.
from all
Because
those,
there's a couple.
we had to pick
Go
at
ahead. Go
least
ahead.
one. So
Yeah. Yes. There was a couple times even going through this when you're like, man, that game came out that year. It's like, because I swear I remember playing that later. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun going through this and seeing what years all these games came out.
yeah, absolutely. But without further ado, I guess we can get started with the good old year 2002, because
And doesn't feel that long ago, but it's been a long
we're
time.
early 2000s kids. But I mean, at
Yep.
the same time, a lot of the, like, if you grew up during that time and you had different, it really depends on the type of parents that you grew up with, really
Yep.
determined what you were exposed to. Like me personally, like, I grew up with a Game Boy, and I grew up with N64 and PS2 and all these classics that a lot of people
Yeah.
in the 90s grew up with. But I
Right.
mean, other people maybe didn't have that experience and whatnot, but hey,
Exactly.
that's all good. So
And for me specifically, I was also born the same year as Taylor, but I kind of missed that last generation. My parents weren't really huge into gaming, so I kind of was not born into, but the first generation of consoles that I remember vividly was like the DS, the Wii, those types of games, the 360, you know. So
the
I kind of like
goats.
missed the goats, the goats. But yeah, so I was kind of one generation above Taylor. But do you want to start, Taylor, with
Oh yeah,
2002?
sure thing. So we went and we did a bunch of research on, like I said before, the various games that came out, and so I picked a good handful that I personally have played from the year 2000 that are some of my favorite picks. Starting off with Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. I kind of grew to love car games as I progressively grew up, and like growing up I would play the Need for Speed games, and Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 was one of my favorites to just go on and just absolutely just wreak havoc with my car and absolutely demolish it because I was a dumb kid. But
Right, right.
moving on from there, Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 was Jedi Outcast Knight 2 was really good game that I played later on in my life, but it came out in 2002, and if you're a Star Wars fan, it's definitely pretty underrated, but I would definitely consider going back and playing that. Along with uh, one of the major games that I ended up playing later on that did release in 2002 was Pokemon Sapphire. And I have, like, throughout growing up, I mean, I liked Pokemon a lot. There's no way around it. It was the fun franchise, fun game series. I mean, I didn't watch too much of the anime, but I know that the anime is pretty good too. And I mean, honestly, I really enjoyed Pokemon Sapphire. That's where I got my start on Pokemon. But out of any of those games, I'm going to have to go with a curveball, which is 007 Nightfire.
Boom. Plot twist.
So I loved that game for the PS2, and that released in 2002. And like hopping on it with four people, with four controllers, playing split screen was like the first introduction to like first person shooters that I got. And that was just so much fun. They had like a rail gun that would shoot lasers, and it was so goated. But how about you? What are your picks for
Yeah, so
2002?
for night, I didn't have Nightfire on my pick, but I played that game later on, and that game is fun. I have that game. Me and my brother went on it, played a little bit of it, and It's fun. I'm glad that you got to play that. Like you played that. Like how old do you think you were when you played
I
that?
was
You were like
probably like below under the age of 5. So
yeah. So that was like one of your first, kind of like one of your first video game memories.
yeah, one of the first shooters that I played. That if not the
Right. Right.
first shooter that I played was that. But
That's cool. All right. So for my picks, 2002 was a crazy year for Resident Evil fans. I'm not sure how many of those we got here, but the Resident Evil remake came out that year and Resident Evil Zero. Both these Resident Evil Zero wasn't as praised when it came out, but the remake is really good. I have that game now. They've republished it for like the current gen consoles. I think I had got it for the Xbox One, I believe, but it originally came out in 2002, back for the Xbox and PS2. I would believe would be what they came out
yeah,
on
I
back
think it
then.
released on PS2 because I think Resident Evil 1 released on PS1 and then Resident
Yeah,
Evil
yeah,
2 released on PS2.
yeah. Those games came out in the mid to late '90s. So yeah, those ones would have been generation before. But yeah, so yeah, that was a pretty crazy year for Resident Evil. We also had a huge Zelda game that year, Wind Waker, which I haven't really. I'm not a huge Zelda fan. I didn't really play. I haven't played many of the Zelda games, but I know that's a really
I haven't
popular
played
one.
that one in particular, but I do know that one is highly praised by the
Yeah.
community. So
We also had the first Kingdom Hearts game, which I haven't really played too much of this, but I've seen little bits and pieces of it here and there. But we also have Vice City, a GTA, one of the first like really popular GTA games. And then the Battlefield game franchise started that year with Battlefield 1942. And last two games, Super Mario Sunshine wasn't like one of the more popular 3D Mario games, but
it's
it has its
definitely
pros and
got its
cons.
own pedestal up there in the 3D Mario games. It's a solid
Definitely.
pick.
It's a solid one, yeah. And then we got prime Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games. Pro Skater 4 came out this year, which was like peak Tony Hawk's games, I believe.
I don't know. I
Um,
feel like Pro Skater 3 was peak, but we
do
all
you think
have
it
our
was three?
opinions.
We all
So
have our opinions. Three, it was still in that realm. Like two,
yeah,
three, four, I think is a lot of people's like favorite era of Pro
yeah.
Skater. But I had to go with my favorites. I had to go with Resident Evil Remake because I haven't played too many of these games, and Resident Evil Remake is one that I put a lot of hours in, and it's such a great game, and I'm so glad that I was able to play it on the with the refined graphics and on the newer generation. I think they do a really good job with all the Resident Evil remakes besides Resident Evil 3, but we don't talk about that one.
Yeah.
But but yeah, that's 2002. So you guys let us know what your favorite pick from 2002 was. And I guess let's move on to 2003. Taylor, what you
All
got,
right.
my fan?
So honestly, 2003 for me, I didn't play
Stacked
a
year,
lot
by
of
the
the.
way.
It was a pretty dry year, if you ask
Dry
me.
dry year for you, Taylor. Dry year for you.
Yeah, I mean, the three major games that I played was Sonic Heroes that I have played from 2003 is Sonic Heroes, the original Call of Duty, Finest
Mm-hmm.
Hour, and then Knights of the Old Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 1, which is RPG. I'm sure many of Star Wars fans have
Never
heard of
played
it.
that.
Probably not a ton of people have played it because a lot of people will go for KOTOR 2 most of the time. But out of those three picks, I gotta just go with the OG COD. I remember playing that first story mission over and over and over again because I never had a memory stick that would save, so I would get past like the first two missions, and then I would turn off the PS2, and then I'd go back on, and I'd be like, oh wait, I don't have any memory saved, so I'd just redo the same
You
missions
just
over and over
redo it.
again. But I loved
Dude,
it.
I remember
So,
doing that with certain games.
how
That's
about you?
fun.
What's your pick for 2003?
Dude, 2003 Call of Duty is definitely I won't have that as my favorite because I've never played it, but it literally started the Call of Duty franchise. We wouldn't have any other games without it, so we definitely gotta talk about that. We also have an underrated I'm blanking on them right now. GTA creators underrated Rockstar game Manhunt, which is it's very dark. I've never played it, but I
I
know
heard
there's
that
a
got
small
panned by.
community for it.
I heard it got
What's
panned
up?
by critics for how dark it is.
Dude, it's so dark. Like I've just read about it and seen video, but I've never played it. But it's pretty crazy.
Gotcha.
Um, Silent Hill 3. It was continuing on. I don't think it was praised as good as 1 or 2, but 3 was another like really popular Silent Hill in that franchise. We also have some underrated games based on animation. We have Battle for Bikini Bottom, which oh man, I love this game. I remember playing this
Oh,
game when I was a
dude.
kid
So
and
much fun, dude. I love
oh
that
my
game.
god. is
Honestly,
just
it
so
was one of the
fun
banger SpongeBob games, if
for
not
real.
one of
And
the
I,
best.
dude, for real. And the remaster, I feel like did a good job, but like a little too good a job at sometimes. Like it kind of took away some of the funny moments from the original Battle for Bikini Bottom that you wouldn't get in a newer game. But I still enjoyed. But what else? Oh, I started looking at 2004. Whoopsie daisy. And we had Mario. Oh, sorry, and the other stacked, the other animated show, which I'm just gonna say this is my favorite pick of 2003. But Simpsons Hit and Run. Oh my
Oh,
god, love
so
that game
good,
so
dude.
much. It's like GTA for Simpsons. It's just the best. It's so fun. I need to complete it
Yes.
all the way through,
That
but
is true.
it's goaded.
I haven't completed it all the way through, but I played it like halfway through when we were
Yeah,
living
same.
together, and that game is
Yep,
just so much fun, dude.
it's so much fun.
Very good.
And then the last shout out I want to give to a game is a couple Mario games that came out that year. Mario Kart Double Dash, which wasn't a hugely popular one, but it continued the franchise. And then
GameCube.
Mario GameCube. Was that on GameCube? Thank
Yep,
you, Joe. I did not know
GameCube.
that.
So,
Nice. And then we also had Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, which I actually haven't played that much of that one either, but I just know that's a really popular one. And that was it was kind of a close pick, but once I realized Simpsons Hit and Run came out that year, I had to go with Simpsons. It's the GOAT. So I guess
understandable. I mean, it's
yeah,
literally the best Simpsons game that they ever
it's the
made. So,
oh no doubt. It's not even close to Simpsons video games also pretty good, but it's not even
yeah.
it doesn't come close. It doesn't come close. But
But
yeah, I guess we can
you
go
know
to
what
2004.
does hit? 2004.
Boom.
2004, dude. Freaking
2004. Yeah, has
bangers, man.
Oh my
Holy
god, yeah.
smokes. They were shredding in 2004. It's like they hit
Dude,
their
there's some
stride.
iconic games that came out
Like
this year.
the next couple of years are the next 2 years are really solid years. I'll say
Dude,
that.
yeah, you're totally right
So
about that.
Knights of the Old Republic 2, I believe, came out in 2004, and that one I did play, and that one was made by Obsidian, and that one was one of the best Star Wars RPGs they did, if not the best one, but it was really good. But it's hard to get into those gameplay mechanics nowadays if you're into like modern games, so take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
But the original Star Wars Battlefront came out that kicked off all the
Man,
Star Wars Battlefronts, and
that's
that
just
I've
crazy.
played a couple of times, and it's so much. It's fun, but they don't have any heroes, so it's like Battlefront 2, but unrefined. So, but there
Gotcha.
are some features that I really like that they didn't bring into Battlefront 2 that are in that one. But Need for Speed Underground is a classic. So good. One of the best Need for Speed games, if not the best one.
Yeah, I need to play that one.
Then GTA San Andreas, dude.
Dude. Yes, bro.
Gosh, Big
Oh my god.
Smoke.
It's like
Dude.
what most people's top 3 for any GTA
Oh
game.
yeah.
Almost
Honestly,
always.
it's hard because I'm tying it up next to GTA 5 because it's so
Yeah.
good for me.
I might have, for me, just with all the nostalgia to it, I might have 5 just a little bit higher than San Andreas.
Understandable.
San Andreas is still an amazing game.
I just love San Andreas just has such a good story. I love its
Dude.
story so much and the characters
Yeah.
and all that stuff are
The
just
open
so
world. It's like the first
yes.
time when the open world was actually open world. It was awesome.
Yeah. But honestly, my top pick for 2004 has got to be Spider-Man 2. That game was so good
Pizza
for its
delivery, dude.
time,
Pizza
dude.
delivery.
So good. There's
Man.
I couldn't say enough praises about it. It had amazing physics, amazing. It was huge open world, great game fighting mechanics, good story. I've played that game to death. The original PS2 Spider-Man
One of my biggest
2.
regrets, never played it.
So good. It's like 2019's Spider-Man just looked at it and said, "All right, let me just copy, and then add modern
Yeah.
aesthetics to it." So it's just so good. But that's got to be my favorite pick from 2004 is not Star Wars, Spider-Man 2.
Gotcha. All right, so I guess that goes over to me. And for me, okay, so I'm not sure if anyone. This is kind of this is an odd pick, but it's not my favorite. But this is an odd SmackDown versus Raw. I'm not a huge I'm not even sure what SmackDown would that be boxing? I think it might be boxing. But like
I've never
when I was
played
a
it.
kid, I loved those boxing games, SmackDown versus Raw. Like me and my cousin and my brother would play them nonstop. And I
Yeah.
just had to give them a little bit of shout out, even though I'm not really into them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But So we also had Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, one of
Oh,
the most iconic
true.
Metal Gear Solid games
Yep.
ever. Came out in 2004. And oh my god, 2004 is so stacked, dude. Just reading this list. All right, Half-Life 2 came out that year, which is another iconic
Yep.
video game just of all time. Halo 2, which was like the beginning of peak Halo. It was like Halo 2 and 3 pretty
Was it
much.
original
Like,
Half-Life or Half-Life 2 that came out?
I can double check real quick, but I'm pretty sure Half-Life 2 came out that year.
Gotcha.
I will double check, make sure I don't want to give out misinformation. Yep, it was 2004 Half-Life 2.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm not sure what year the first one came out. I didn't see that one when I was looking through the list, so it might have been before
No
02, but
worries,
I'm
no
not 100%
worries.
Sure. Yeah, and then we also had the beginning of the Far Cry franchise, which I have played a little bits of this one, haven't played it all the way through, but this one it has a nice aesthetic to it. I like the feel to this game. It's different than any other Far Cry game. It's just I enjoy it. And Red Dead Revolver, which this game got more popular after the Red Dead Redemption games came out, but this game is just underrated classic. And then Hitman Contracts, a little shout out to Hitman Contracts because, oh man, that game's so dark and I love it so much. But I have to go with my favorite, and me and Taylor have already talked about it, GTA San Andreas. It's just my favorite game from 2004, the one I played the most out of all these games from 2004 that I've seen. I played San Andreas the most. It's so
All
fun.
you
It's one of my
had to
favorite
do
GTA games.
was follow the damn train, CJ.
So many iconic lines. The dialogue is so funny in that game.
You picked the
It's-
wrong house, fool.
Oh, it's just so good.
Oh, dude, that's
All
such
right.
a good game. That's a great pick for
It's-
2004. But
Yeah, if I'd
speaking
played Spider-Man 2, I probably would have picked Spider-Man 2 as well.
but speaking of stacked, dude, 2005. If you were a Star Wars fan, dude, 2005 absolutely just popped off.
Hit me with them.
The original Lego Star Wars, the first
Oh.
3 episodes released in 2005, Star Wars Republic Commandos, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Star Wars,
Jeez.
one of the best Star Wars games of all time. The episode
Yeah.
3 tie-in game came out in 2005. Like, they absolutely
God,
just
yeah.
stacked Star Wars games
Jeez,
when the
dude.
third movie came out. But, I mean, there were other
Yeah.
games that came out too during that time, like Kingdom Hearts 2, Sonic Rush. That was a good one for the DS because the DS had just released
Oh
at
my
that
god,
time.
I had that one on DS. That was one of the only Sonic games I had growing up.
Dude,
Oh,
I
man.
liked Sonic Rush.
I
It's
love that
underrated, dude. But
I'm happy that you think it's underrated because I love that game.
COD 2 also came out, the original Call of Duty 2. Very good pick. But for me, I got to go with the OG Battlefront 2. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's a legendary game. It's so
Yeah.
good. That's got to be my pick.
No, said that's got to be it. All right, so
Gotta be
for
it.
me, man, 2005 was stacked. Were you gonna say something, Taylor?
Nope, I'm all good.
Okay. Gotcha. 2005, man. You were right, Taylor. It is a stacked year, but we got God of War, the very first one that started the franchise. We have I don't know, but Mario and Luigi's Partner in Time. That was one of the more popular, not 3D, one of the more popular. I believe that's one of the ones on the DS. It was one of the crap. I can't think of it right now, but that was one of the more popular ones on the DS. We also have one of the most when this came out, this was like all over the world. Guitar Hero was like all over the place. Like if you were alive during that time, you remember Guitar Hero when that came out. What else we got here? Resident Evil 4, one of the most iconic Resident Evil games. They mixed horror and action like so good in that game. I love the remake. Chaos Theory, those like peak Splinter Cell. Man, there's Mario Kart DS.
Ooh,
All right.
go.
That
So good,
Mario
dude.
Kart
Mario
DS,
Kart
dude,
DS.
so good.
Good.
I'm not sure. I'm
The
stuck.
DS
between-
released with New Super Mario Bros. For the DS come out that year too, or was that in 2006?
Yeah, it was the following year.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Oh,
All
man.
good,
Okay,
but still.
I think, yeah, one of the best Mario Kart games. Especially, it was like my first Mario Kart game ever. I'm pretty sure, first one I ever played. And I have so much nostalgia to it. I think I'm gonna have to go with Mario Kart DS, but Call of Duty 2 is a close second for me. They're both really close. I have so much nostalgia. Call of Duty 2 was my very first Call of Duty game ever because I couldn't play mature games until I was 13, and I could play teen games. So that was my very first introductory into the Call of Duty franchise. So I love that game a lot. But Mario Kart DS, I just so many hours spent on that game. I think I will have to go with that one.
That's a great pick. I don't blame you at all for that one.
Yeah, but they're very close together. All right, so I guess 2006.
But with
My
the
friend.
release of the DS, also came the release of the Wii in 2006, and that brings
Yep,
me
it's
right
time
up
to
to
get
Wii
DS.
Sports, dude.
Yeah, that came out in '06, dude. I loved Wii Sports.
Goated. Such a
Oh
good
man,
game. My God.
for
I don't think that
real.
there's ever been, I don't know if there's been a game that really brings people together quite like the Wii and Wii
Dude, I
Sports
was just about to
since
say, me and my family played hours of that game together, man. We loved
hours.
that game.
Even
Bowling,
nowadays, it's
golf,
like
baseball.
at my girlfriend's grandma's house, they have a Wii, and I'll go over there and I'm like, I'll set this up if you guys want to play some Wii Sports. And then here, me and
Yep,
her cousin are playing Wii bowling, trying to
dude,
go for strikes. So
it's the best like family oriented game. One of the best. Literally, commercials for it show families playing it together. It's
yeah,
just
easily
it's
one of the best
great.
of all time. But speaking of best of all time, COD 3, dude.
Oh my
I
god.
liked
You love
COD
Call of
3
Duty.
a
You love Call
lot.
of Duty 3 a lot like that? Okay,
I
okay,
did
okay.
like it a lot. I don't think it was the best of all time, but it was definitely
It was
I
fun.
loved the story of COD 3. It had a good
Yeah.
story.
Dude, the
Um,
stories for those games are so good.
the first couple of Call of Duties had good campaigns. I'm not
Oh
saying
yeah.
that the other ones don't, but like as you go further down the line, it fell off after I would say 2013. But
Agreed. Yeah, right when we
uh,
got to Ghost.
Elder Scrolls Oblivion came out that year. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, some of the best Pokemon games. I
Jesus.
played the crap out of Pokemon Diamond. And then, don't even get me started on the legendary OG, dude, Roblox released in
My
2006, dude.
God, no way, dude. That makes me feel old as hell, man.
Yeah, dude, I
Oh
didn't
my
realize it was
God.
that old because,
Jeez.
oh, dude, I played Roblox all the time. Dude, I would love to
I
go
played it
back
with
and boot
you.
up
I played with you a
Roblox.
lot, dude. I remember playing that game. Roblox was
But
awesome.
one thing I can't talk about, though, or at least I have in here as don't talk about Sonic '06. We don't talk about it. It's when
I
Sonic
made the
fell
rare
off,
mistake of
man.
bringing it up.
It's so sad. So sad.
So
Sonic
sad.
fell off. He fell and broke both his ankles and his shins.
Dude, and like 1 year before this was Rush, right? What happened?
Yeah, yeah. Rush was 2005, and Rush was really good. And then '06
Yeah.
came out and just, oh no,
Obliterated.
no man. But out of all those, also Lego Star Wars 2 came out in 2006 for the original,
We're
for the
getting to the
last,
good ones.
for the first three, for the original trilogy. It released.
Right.
Because the prequels were released in 2005, and then the original trilogy came out in 2006. But out of all those, I'm gonna have to pick Sonic '06. Wait, what?
Oh, cut that.
No, I'm gonna have to pick. That's really tough, dude, because I love Pokemon Diamond and I love Wii Sports, and I played so much Roblox, man. I can't even tell you how many
Dude.
hours I have on Roblox. So
Real. Now that you told me Roblox is in there, I didn't even see that before, and now I might have to second guess my picks.
I'm gonna have to go with Roblox. Just the versatility and the amount of games that people have made on there, and how it's gained quality
Still
throughout
being
the
played
years,
today.
and the amount of fun I've had on there. I just got to go with Roblox. I
Oh,
know it's
man.
a geeky pick, but I don't care. I'm going with it.
A lot of nostalgia to that one. All right. Now, oh man, this is gonna be hard now. Okay, 2006. For me, there's some great games that did come out this year. A lot of starts of some great franchises, like Dead Rising, the first Dead Rising game came out this
Oh,
year. Love that game. Frank West, he's the GOAT. Just Cause, the start of Just Cause franchise, also started this year. Another great franchise, underrated. Gears of War started this year as well. A lot of great franchises started this year. Another underrated Rockstar game that came out this year, Bully. I played so much of the Bully. I loved that game.
well, weren't a lot of those released on Xbox 360? Because the Xbox 360 released,
In
I believe, in
'05.
2005. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then
Yeah,
the
so a lot of these games were
PS3
on-
didn't release until '06, so that was now in
Yeah,
'06.
so I wonder if a lot of these games came out and then they reissued them on PS3, probably right when the PS3 came out, I assume.
Yeah.
Or close to.
But
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
interesting to see how like different console generations tie in with like how the releases of the consoles come out and then the games that come out and how the quality of the
Dude. Yeah.
games and those sorts of things. Because you can kind of tell as
The
we go
quality
along that
jump.
we sort of get like really banger years and then it kind of falls off and then we'll get really bang and then it'll fall off.
Yeah.
So it's just a
Exactly.
noticeable trend as we go along. So if we speed through some years, that's why, because there's
Exactly.
just not as much to talk about that happened that year.
Yeah. And it
But
does seem to happen when a new console is coming out for some reason. For some reason, it's just like they're trying to get their footing. It always seems like peak games coming out during a console's run seems to be like right in the middle of their life cycle. It seems like there's like so many great games. But nonetheless, let's continue on with 2006. My favorite game from this year, well, I guess it's gonna be tied with Roblox and New Super Mario Bros. For the DS because I just had so many hours on this
I had a
game.
ton of hours on that game too,
So many
dude.
hours, dude. Like I think it was my first Mario game. Yeah, my very first Mario game. That's what I was introduced to, and I fell in love with it right then and there. And now I pretty much play every Mario game that comes out. But yeah, that game and I gotta go with Roblox too. They're like gonna be tied for first for me. I gotta have those two together just because they both mean a lot to me growing up.
That's excellent picks. That perfect.
Taylor's speech.
But moving on from there, let's hop into quite another banger year.
Oh my god. Yeah.
2007, dude.
Oh
2007
lordy.
popped off. Like once the
Real.
Xbox 360 started hitting its stride, you had games
Yep.
like Halo 3 that came out.
Mm.
Probably the best Halo of all time. I know that people will debate it in the comments or whatever. That's my
Debate.
personal favorite. I love
Yeah.
Halo 3. Great multiplayer, great story, single player. It's so much fun. I have so many hours on Halo 3. Even though I didn't play it like in the prime of it, I still have a lot of hours on it. But
Right.
Lego Star Wars, the complete saga
Oh
in
yeah,
2007,
dude.
dude. Another game that I have so many hours on that it
Dude.
isn't even funny.
Oh my
Um,
god. So many hours. It's redonk. DS and Wii version.
yeah, but a couple of big notable picks for PS3, Drake's Uncharted, Drake's Fortune, dude.
Love that
So
game.
good.
So
Love
goated.
that game. For PC, you got Portal that came out. Portal was an absolute banger, and Team Fortress 2, some of the
Oh,
two biggest Valve games.
dude, yeah.
And then on the COD side, this is when COD really hit its stride, dude.
This is when it started to become like the most
Modern Warfare 4, absolute just banger, dude.
for real.
I think out of all these picks for me, I got to go with Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga
Yeah,
because like I said, that's just a game I can come back to year after year after year and just hop on and have a good time. And it's
dude.
just
Yeah, same.
no question about it. The Complete
Dude,
Saga's
yeah.
got to be it for
For real, dude.
2007.
I still play it nowadays sometimes when I want to
Oh,
play a Lego game. It's just so goated.
yeah.
All right. All right, for me, Taylor got a lot of the goated ones out of there, but so some of the other ones we got Super Mario Galaxy, which one of my favorite Mario games. Love the world to it, all the different planets. Such a good story. It's up there for me. We also had the start of another franchise, BioShock, as well as Assassin's Creed.
Ooh,
The very first
Assassin's
Assassin's Creed
Creed.
game.
That was both BioShock and Assassin's Creed. Great series.
Yes, great series. We also we talked about this a little bit earlier when we talked about Hit and Run, but the Simpsons game, the Simpsons game came out this year,
Gotcha.
as well as Mass Effect, start of that franchise, which is I've never played that franchise, but a lot of the fans of that series love that series. Say it's very consistent, so I'm gonna have to check it out at some point.
I
We
know
also
that
have-
definitely took over the mid 2000s era.
Dude,
There was a big Mass
yes.
Effect craze during that time.
Yeah, Mass Effect 2 and 3 were huge. I remember
Yeah.
I didn't play them, but I remember when they were released and came
Yep,
out.
I
They
remember when
became-
they were released too, and it was like, wow, people are going nuts for this.
Yeah, the first game must have ended crazily. But last shout out I want to give is Sam & Max Save the World, which Sam & Max is such an underrated franchise. It's really witty. The writing's really good, as well as it's one of the few point and click games that like franchises that's still around today because you don't see a lot of point and click franchises in
No.
the market that much that are like on Xbox and are still popular.
Yeah.
But that's one of the few that are still around. But for my favorite of 2007. We have to go another two-way tie because I'm a pansy. Oh, I forgot about. Wait, Rock Band came out this year, right? Yeah, Rock Band. Forgot to mention.
Yeah, Rock Band came out.
2007, which was one of the one of the fighters. Oh, what's the word? Crap. Contenders against Guitar Hero. You know, I can't.
Yeah,
say the word right now.
competitors.
Competition,
Yep.
competitors. Thank you, Taylor. But yeah, for me, I got tied for first is Lego Star Wars Complete Saga as well as Super Mario Galaxy, just because they're both of my favorite games from those franchises. So I just got to go with them both. Complete Saga is maybe not my favorite Lego game of all time, but it's 100% in my top 3. It's like way up there. So
Yeah.
it's close. It's close.
I think it's hard to pick a favorite Lego game because there's because they're so rooted in childhood. That's the thing, is they're so nostalgia based.
Exactly.
But
Especially,
yeah, speaking of Lego games, in 2008,
Oh my
Lego Indiana
God.
Jones came out, dude.
Stacked year for Legos, yeah.
I played the crap out of Lego Indiana Jones. I think I had the max amount of studs you could get, along with it being 98% complete, since I think I didn't get one mini kit. I could never find one mini kit.
It was one mini kit.
But
That's pretty good, though.
But along with that, one of the revival of one of my favorite franchises, Fallout 3, released in 2007. Now, I haven't...
8.
I know this is a bit embarrassing, but I've never actually completed Fallout 3, though I do really enjoy the game. It's just one of those games I haven't brought myself to complete it all the way because I need to spend good time actually diving into the DLC and everything like that so I can get the full experience. But Star Wars The Force Unleashed released in 2008, and that was such a fun Star Wars game. Just a hack and slash is basically what it is. And then speaking of hack and slash, Castle Crashers released in 2008. Goated. So good, dude. It's one of those games, just like Wii Sports, you can just pick up and play. It's maybe not as accessible as Wii Sports, obviously, but still, it's a great pick. But Left 4 Dead, that was another great pick in there. I remember playing the Left 4 Dead games later on, and I loved Left 4 Dead 1. Not as much as Left 4 Dead 2, but still a great game. But honestly, I gotta pick in Lego Indiana Jones. I know there are more games that came out that year, and I want to leave some for you. But I've got to go with Lego Indiana Jones just because the amount of years, the amount of time I put into that game, the amount of love that I had for it.
100% understandable. Great pick. That's one of my favorite Lego games too, dude. It's up there.
But I'll let you tackle the rest of 2008 on this one. So
sounds good. All right, so let's hit the rest of the 2008 games real quick. We got a big GTA game, GTA 4. This one came out. GTA 4 came out in 08, which very popular GTA game, one of the more popular ones. We also had Super Smash Bros. For the Wii came out this year, and man, I loved this game.
I loved Super Smash Bros. For the Wii. So good.
So goated. I just love the way how you unlock characters in that game just by finding foes and getting the character after you beat them. It's just I love that aspect of that.
I have a lot of hours. A lot of hours in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Along with Mario Kart Wii, because that one was...
Dude, yeah.
Coconut Mall, dude.
Mario Kart Wii came out that year, too. Yes. Oh, my God.
Coconut Mall hits different.
Oh, Coconut Mall is one of my favorite maps. It's so good. All right. We also had another Lego game. 2008 was stacked for Lego games, by the way. We had Lego Indiana Jones and Lego Batman that came out that year. Lego Batman. Oh, I think I like that one more than Indiana Jones. I'm not going to lie. That's one of my favorite Lego games.
It's understandable. It's a great Lego game. It is.
It is. They're both, all three of those games, Complete Saga, Batman, Indy, they're all just
Dude, they just hit just 3 home runs back to back with those games.
Seriously, like, oh, man. Guys. All right. We also had Little Big Planet came out that year.
Oh,
and and Battlefield Bad Company when they first started focusing way in on the story. Story's really funny. I don't think I've ever completed it, but I just remember playing it when I was younger.
Yep.
One of my first mature games that I got. My first Battlefield game, I believe. No, actually, I think it was 4. It was right around the same time, though.
I played both of those on the Little Big Planet and Battlefield Bad Company on.
You played both those?
On the PSP, so because I had a
snap, yeah. I forgot about the PSP.
That was a lot of fun. The PSP was pretty underrated. It's another great little handheld console.
I forgot what year it came out, but it was definitely late 2000s. Definitely seems right.
Yeah.
But we also did you talk about Call of Duty this year?
I did not talk about Call of Duty this
We
year.
had one of the best
One
Call
of
of
the
Duty games.
absolute best.
Bangers. The zombies, single player and multiplayer is all phenomenal. We got Call of Duty World at War. Perfect. Love this game.
Shit's
One of my favorite Call of Duty games. It is so delicious, dude.
Dude,
But
the introduction of the zombies mode,
oh
game
my
over,
God.
dude. I was hooked on zombies. I can't tell you how, just like some of these other games, I have put countless amounts of hours into, because I was stuck with having just World at War zombies for a while, because it came in a Call of Duty 3 pack with COD 2 and COD 3. So that was the only way that I could manage to get my parents to let me get a mature game.
Dude, that's smart, dude. I didn't even realize. I forgot they did that.
So finessed it a little bit, but it was the
That's
only way I was able to play zombies, and I had to have the graphics turned into no explicit graphics mode and all that stuff.
Because you could turn off the blood and stuff back
Yep.
then. I think you could still do that actually, but yeah.
But
That's cool.
I
also,
yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
No,
I was just gonna say that the single player co-op, one of the few Call of Duty games that did that, but I love that. I wish they did that with more Call of Duty games. I
Me
thought that was
too.
a great idea.
I have so
But,
many hours in COD War at War. One of my
Dude,
favorites, if not my favorite. It's just so good,
It's
dude.
up there. Always have a hard time picking a favorite because there's always like, especially with Call of Duty, there's a lot of them are really close for me.
2008 was a great year for gaming.
It was a great
That's
year.
tough because some people could argue it's one of the best of all time. But
Yeah, honestly, for real. I think I gotta go with oh crap. Lego Batman, because it's one of my favorite Lego Batman, one of my favorite Lego games, and well, there were Mario Kart Wii. Okay, all right, going to 2009. I
would you just sped through that and couldn't make up your mind? All right, I'm just gonna pick 5 and then go.
I'm just gonna pick all of them. 2008.
He couldn't. I don't blame him. Too many good picks. But with 2009, Left 4 Dead 2, I played that a ton. I loved Left 4 Dead 2. So good. Super Mario Bros. Wii released in 2009. Plants vs. Zombies. This is when mobile games started kind of popping up during this time. So that one was a really good one.
There's some good mobile games that came out this year.
Angry Birds came out during that time. I remember playing like Doodle Jump, Temple.
Flappy Bird.
Flappy Bird didn't come out until later, but Tiny Wings
later.
came out around that time.
But the Rope, I think, came around this time.
What is it? Pocket God.
I love Pocket God, dude.
I don't know when Kick the Buddy came out, but I believe Kick the Buddy came out around that time as well. Some of these just iconic mobile games.
A lot of iconic mobile games.
But Wii Sports Resort also released in 2009.
Oh, man, that came out a few years after Wii Sports. Loved Wii Sports Resort, too.
Yep.
By the way.
But MW2 has got to be the cream of the crop when it comes to 2009, and that's got to be my pick for that year. It was MW2. There's just the amount of interesting new words I learned in the chats of that game when I would play it at my cousin's house is just...
Dude, that
pristine.
was when online was just unhinged back then, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Unhinged.
All right. So I guess that leaves me now to 2009.
Yep.
Which this year is also pretty stacked. A lot of great games came out this year. Start of the Arkham series, Arkham Asylum, literally inspired games that came out later down the line for its fighting. Its fighting is just so amazing. It's perfect in City. Asylum, though, it's still really good. We also have Borderlands, which that franchise started this year. Love Borderlands. Well, actually, I don't know why I said that. I never played Borderlands.
I played a bit of it. It's pretty fun. It's a good franchise.
Good franchise. That's good. Minecraft came out in 2009. I'm not sure. I know it came out in 2009, but it came out in another year, too. I think it came out at different times in different parts of the world. But it was first released in 2009, and I just remember playing this game on my Xbox, on my PC. It was one of the first games that my parents let me get on Steam for the PC, or I think so. I think it was Steam. And then we also got on mobile. Did I say mobile? Mobile, Xbox. It was just all over. I had it on every console. You get my drift. But this Minecraft was all over the place. Loved Minecraft.
I don't think they fully fleshed out Minecraft's release until like 2011ish, but I know that they were like that was when the initial like beta first released was 2009.
Yeah. You're right.
And
It might have not have been like the Minecraft we all know and love today until 2011.
but the
That was very
concept of
possible.
Minecraft came out in '09, but it didn't fully
Exactly.
take
Yeah,
over until later on. But
I would
we
agree.
still
Yeah.
love Minecraft. It's
Of course.
phenomenal
Yeah.
franchise.
Yes. And we're not going to talk about it again in 2011 probably, unless you have it written down.
I will probably
Then we
talk
can-
about it in 2011.
That's fine. Okay, since you wrote it down, that's totally fine. We can talk about it twice. I just wanted to make sure we talked about it. All right.
good.
So other games that came out. So this was like around this time. I was playing so many of like the 2K, NHL, the hockey, baseball, football games, and I just had to mention 2K10 and NHL 2K10 because I just played. I had those games on Wii, and they're like my two favorite sports games. I just love those games so much. And so let's move on. Assassin's Creed 2 came out this year, and oh man, I love Assassin's Creed 2. This is one of the best stories in all the
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed games. It's so good.
It had a great storyline. Like,
This
honestly,
year's
I feel like after Black Flag, it kind of fell off a bit. But like, 2 was grill. It's so solid.
So amazing. Yes, agreed. We also had another amazing story game this year. Uncharted 2
Yep.
came out this year. Oh man, I love Uncharted 2. It's action, it's story, it's dialogue. It's so good. But we also have New Super Mario Bros. Wii came out this year, which came out 3 years after the DS, which shocked me when I was doing research. I thought they came out right around the same time. I was like, what? But we also have Sims 3, which I played a lot of Sims 3. I didn't play too much Sims 4, but Sims 3 was my cup of tea. Me and my brother.
That was
had
before
that
it
game
was
on,
like hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of DLC crap.
dude, I know it's so. I love Sims 3 just for that. Yeah, because you can. There wasn't the DLC. I didn't even had DLC, but
You
I had
basically
fun
get
just
the
playing
full
the
game in the
game.
package.
Exactly. It's great. We also had Mario and Luigi's Bowser's Inside Story, which is another very popular Mario game on the handheld DS, and MW2. Okay. What do I want to go with here? I think I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna pick one this time because I've been kind of cheating this whole time. But I'm gonna go with Modern Warfare 2. I have to go with Modern
You gotta
Warfare 2.
go with it, dude.
I
You gotta
it's
go
one
with
of
the
the few
best.
games that made me almost cry when playing the story. And if that doesn't tell you something, it's so good. The story, the multiplayer is amazing. It's like
See,
one of the
but
best
we loved it for
multiplayers.
two different reasons. You love the
Oh, dude,
story. I
I
loved
love the
getting called
story, but
interesting names.
I love the multiplayer too. I didn't get to play it as much, but the story, it is one of the best campaigns in Call of Duty. But what else was it? Spec Ops was in MW2. I
Oh,
loved
Spec Ops was
too.
good.
I played the crap out of it in MW3, but MW2, I did play a little bit of that too. And Spec Ops is it's such a great game mode.
But
But yeah, I have to go with MW2. Let's go to 2010.
goated Call of Duties. Dude, Call of Duty was in their prime during this time because
Oh
what
my
came out in
God.
2010, Black Ops.
Yeah.
Dude, Black Ops is
Oh
one
my God.
so
Another one of the best.
good, dude.
Might be my favorite story. It might
Dude,
even be better than
It's
MW2.
so difficult to pit MW2 against Black Ops when it comes to the story because they're just
But
both
yeah,
phenomenal.
but then when you add the zombies to it and
the zombies was great. It was the multiplayer, like it was just an all-in-one package.
They found their stride at this point. They found it, and they had
Skate
it for a few
3 came out in 2010, dude. That game had me dying every
What
single
game
time.
was that,
Skate
sorry?
3.
Skate 3. Oh my God,
Dude,
yes.
that game just
Love
had me
Skate 3.
on my ass laughing
2010
every
is
single
sad.
time I'd play it just because of the ragdoll physics and how funny it was.
Dude.
Donkey
Yeah.
Kong Country Returns for the Wii. I played a ton of that in 2010.
Oh my God, yeah.
Force Unleashed 2 came out during that time. I actually didn't
That's
play
right.
that all the way through until about 2 years ago, and that was really fun. Not as fun as the first one, but still a really good experience.
Right.
But with 2010, Pokemon Black and White, two of my favorite, dude. Pokemon was
Oh
hitting
man,
its stride during
Pokemon.
that time. Call of Duty was in its stride
We-
during that time. Like, dude,
Red Dead started.
Lego was in its stride. Like, oh, dude, so many great titles. Not to mention, probably one of my favorite of all time, Fallout New Vegas, dude, came out in 2010.
Oh
And
my
I
God,
didn't play that until many years later, but oh my gosh, dude. I obviously I couldn't play it at the time anyways because my parents wouldn't let me get rated M games, but
That's right. Yep.
it's so good. One of my favorite games of all time easily.
So understandably too.
But
Amazing
2010
game.
was just absolutely stacked. But how about
All
for
right.
you? What's your
Oh,
2010
oh yeah,
pick?
you went with Fallout New Vegas, of course. That one is probably easy for you to pick. This one a little bit harder for me to pick this one, but 2010, we also had the sequel to Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Galaxy 2, which some people like more than the other. Some people like the first one more. I think I like the first one more.
I think I
But
like Galaxy 2 more than
you
one,
think I
but
like Galaxy 2
so we'll
more?
be in the opposite
There's
camps on that
Yeah,
one.
let's be in the opposite camp on that one. They're so close for me. I love them both a lot. They're both two of my favorite Mario games.
Absolutely.
But we also have 007 Bloodstone, which was my very first 007 game ever, and I loved this game so much when it came out. The single player, it was more known for its single player, not too much on the multiplayer side like Nightfire was, but I love the story to this game. And what else did we have? Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4. Lego was also still in its stride during this time too, so there's a lot of franchises in their stride right now. And I think I have to go with Need for Speed Hot Pursuit came out this year, which was that was the first Need for Speed game that I ever played. I didn't realize there were Need for Speed games before Hot Pursuit. Like, I thought that was the first one ever. And I was shocked when Need for Speed 2 came out in 2002. I was like, what? But man, all right. Oh my God, Super Meat Boy also came out this year, which that's a very like underground game, but it's a super hard
That's
game.
kind of like
I love it a lot.
I feel like Super Meat Boy really led to more indie titles becoming
Yes.
bigger and that sort of stuff, and that kind of led to like games like Minecraft becoming a thing because Minecraft was
Yeah.
indie. It started off as indie too. So
Exactly. Yeah, I definitely paved the way for indie games, which is awesome because I love that game a lot. Heavy Rain, which is when I was a kid, I was super into detective games.
Sean.
I said John Cena. Oh yeah, Heavy Rain. I was super into detective games, and this game was a PS4 exclusive or PlayStation 3 exclusive at the time. And I was so mad because all the good games that I wanted to play were all on the PS3, and I only had Xbox consoles. And this was one game I remember being a kid and really wanting to play it. And now I have a PS4 and haven't played it. See it. Oh my God! But whatever. I do really want to play that game at some point, just because I really wanted to play when I was a kid. But I gotta go with all right. I'm gonna go with
What's the pick?
I gotta go with Call of Duty Black Ops. Me and Taylor are kind of in the same boat right now, but I just have to go with Black Ops because they're just at their peak, and I love Call of Duty. It's one of my favorite franchises of all time. I wish that the new games were as good as the old games, but during this time, it's just like, I mean, there were games that are really close, and it's just like it was just so good at this time.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Black Ops was it. Any of the CODs that we've talked about in the last few years could be argued to be the best. But
yeah, and if I don't want to do Call of Duty back to back like that, then I'd probably go with Super Mario Galaxy 2, which I've already done a Mario Galaxy game too, which is why I ended up going with Black Ops.
But
just
hey,
because
that's okay because it's the games that you enjoyed and it's the game that you were
Exact-
playing because you
you're right.
obviously liked that series, so you continued on
Oh,
with it and they continued to, perform. So
right, that is very true.
But
All right.
with that, we can move on
what I was saying,
into
man.
the good old 2011.
Ooh.
Started off with one of my favorite single player games for the PS3, Uncharted 3. That one was really fun. I liked that story.
I love Uncharted 3. I love it.
Skyrim, the legend itself, came out in 2011, along with Portal 2, Lego Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars.
Dang. Oh, that's right. That game.
The game that you see at the bottom of all the TikTok videos, Temple Run.
Oh
Battlefield 3, probably one of my favorite Battlefield games.
Oh,
I
man,
love,
Battlefield 3.
Battlefield 3, 4, and 1 are just
Oh yes,
so
dude.
good.
3, 4, and 1 peak Battlefield, dude.
Sonic Generations came out in 2011.
Let's go, Sonic's coming
Sonic
back.
finally recovered from 2006, so it's finally back. Took it, long enough, 4 years, 5 years.
Right.
But Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword came out in 2011, along with Terraria, because it was kind of the main competition for when Minecraft really started hitting its stride in 2011.
Yeah.
And then Call of Duty MW3. Some phenomenal picks for 2011.
Love this game, MW3, dude. Such an amazing game.
That's a tough year, man.
Dude, it's stacked year again.
It really is. Ah, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
I Dude, I gotta go with Minecraft. The amount of my
That's
hours that I put in
yeah.
Minecraft was just uns. And it's not even like I just played it then. It's like I've played Minecraft for years and years and years. It's one of those games that you can come back to time and time again. And it
Yes,
all
exactly.
started then, so I got to give it to Minecraft for 2011.
Very fair choice because Minecraft is just one of great sandbox game. It's just a great sandbox game. Love Minecraft. It's been around for years and it still hasn't died, which just says something about the game. But 2011, I guess. Okay, so this year there's a lot of awesome games that I love that came out this year. But Arkham City, which is like peak Arkham. There's like the map is perfect. You're just like you can go like anywhere in Arkham City. It's just such a great open world game. There wasn't a lot of open world games around besides like GTA and stuff. Now it's super commonplace. You see open world games all the time, but it wasn't as many back then. And then we also had Portal 2 came out that year. Love Portal 2. I don't know which one I would like more, but they're both great games.
Dude, Portal 2 and Portal 1 are both just such fun puzzle games.
They're
Like,
so fun, dude.
they're
Yeah.
good. Good change of
Classic.
pace when it comes to games.
Exactly, yeah. Super Mario 3D Land, which is another Mario game that I played the crap out of. I had that for the 3DS and loved 3D Land. Lego Pirates of the Caribbean came out this year, which was one of my favorite Lego games. I say that for all the Lego games, I
Dude,
think,
that one
but I
was
just
really
love
fun
that one. That
too.
one's just great.
Lego
Love the
was
music in that one.
Lego was still in its stride at
Oh
this
yeah,
time. So,
I would agree. And then also this is 2010 kids would probably remember this. Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. Um, the with the portal and you would have
yep.
like the little Skylander dudes that started this year and Skylanders isn't as popular as it used to be, but they still drop games every like 3 or 4 years, I believe. Like just
Gotcha.
every year in blue. But yeah, that's when I was in my peak of playing Skylanders. So like I love the story of that game. But I gotta go with my favorite here, and it's gotta be LA Noir. I don't think I talked about it yet, but LA Noir is one of my favorite detective games. Probably I always say it's like the most underrated Rockstar game, but a lot of people really like this game, so it might not be as underrated as like Manhunt or something like that. But I just really love this game a lot. It's just love the music to it, love the atmosphere. It's just I could go on all day about it, but yeah, I gotta go with LA Noir on that one.
Understandable, dude. I know you've told me a ton about LA Noir, and that
Yeah,
game
yeah,
does. I haven't played it myself, but it is definitely on my to play list.
yeah.
But
It's a fun one for sure.
speaking of
And
fun,
Minecraft, I would definitely go with Minecraft too if I didn't know to go with it. All right,
but
go ahead. Sorry.
speaking of fun, in 2012, more couple good games came out in
Yeah.
2012. Speaking of one of the best Call of Duties of all time, Black
Oh my
Ops
god.
2, you know,
The end of its
revered
prime.
as one of the best multiplayers right up next to MW2.
Multiplayer is phenomenal.
Too
Played that
bad
the
you can't
most.
play it nowadays because it's just
Oh man.
hackers. So,
Yeah. So
but Tall Tales: The Walking Dead released in 2012.
love
That
that.
really
Season
got me
one.
into the Walking Dead series and got me
Mhm.
into the comics and into the
Same.
show. And I know that's when the Walking Dead craze was kind of coming around, but like I really liked the Telltale series. Um,
Oh, such a
on
great
the
series.
mobile side, you got games like Clash of Clans coming out that
Oh snap.
released in 2012, and that one still is, Supercell's flourished into a big company with different games and stuff like that for mobile, and that's
Right.
been a successful thing, and I played that a lot during that time. I personally really enjoyed Dishonored that came out
Oh, I
during
never
that
played that.
time, and I really enjoy the single player Dishonored games. Borderlands 2 also came out during that time, along with Pokemon Black and White 2.
Oh snap.
And that's really tough because, damn, I really love Dishonored, and I really love Black Ops 2,
Yeah,
and I really love Pokemon Black and White 2.
right. So like, what do
So
you
it's
go with?
really tough to pick it. Honestly, it's got to be a tie between Dishonored and Pokemon Black and White 2, because Pokemon Black and
Fair
White
enough.
2 is my favorite Pokemon games of all time.
Yeah.
And that's out of a series I really love, and Dishonored's my favorite out of the Dishonored series, which is my
Yeah,
favorite,
yeah.
which is a great series.
Right. This is a
So
hard choice.
that's really tough to pick between the two.
Okay.
Gotta go with Pokemon Black and White, I guess,
Oh,
because
so
I
I was
just.
gonna let you. I was gonna let you pick them both if you wanted to.
All right, I'm picking them both. They're both going on there. I can't. It's tough to pick one over the other. It's
Dude, sometimes
really difficult. But
there's some years for me like that too.
how about you for 2012? What were your eyes on the prize?
Okay, so this year was pretty stacked for me. I loved a lot of games that came out this year. Far Cry 3, love Far Cry 3. That's peak Far Cry. One of the best stories in the whole franchise. The best story in the franchise, I would say, is my favorite. Love that game. Assassin's Creed 3 wasn't as loved as AC2, but I still really enjoy this game a lot. I love the history element to it, and it just still feels like classic AC to me. So I do highly enjoy that game. Need for Speed Most Wanted, the one I played the most as a kid. Most Wanted, I had this one. It was the first Need for Speed game I ever played, and I love just pretending I was a cop, even though I wasn't a cop. I would just go around and pretend to pull people over. They'd run off, but I was just like pretending. But it was just I remember, and I loved that game a lot. A lot of great memories with that one. Lego games were stacked this year with Lego Lord of the Rings and Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes. Both great entries in the Lego games. So, after all that, I think I'm going to have to go with... I already went with Lego Batman, so I'm not going to do that. I got to go with Far Cry 3. Far Cry 3, I love the Far... This is the Far Cry game that got me into the Far Cry franchise. So, I have to go with Far Cry 3. Just love that game a lot. One of the few games I've replayed bunch of times, so yeah.
Understandable. It's a good game and a good series.
Yes, agreed.
But
All right.
2013, honestly, there wasn't a ton of games that I was like head over
I think
heels
we're gonna pick
for
the
this
same
year.
one on this one.
Pokemon X and Y came out. I did enjoy Pokemon X and Y quite a bit. Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds also released.
Yeah,
Battlefield 4 released,
love
and that
that
one was
game.
one of my favorites.
Yeah,
And that's probably the one I'm going to have to go with in 2013 because I think I
Guys,
know which one you're going to be picking for 2013.
you want to be different. You want to be different.
I think I have a heavy. If you guys were around in 2013, you know what game was everybody was playing. So
Yeah,
I'll
it's
let
still
you take
played
over
today.
this. So
Okay, all right. So I'm not gonna say it yet, but there's a few games that came out this year that are like a lot of people love that I really want to play. That I played little bits of, like Last of Us. I need to finish that game all the way through. That game came out this year, and great story in it. Super Mario 3D World, which I love 3D World more than 3D Land. 3D World is one of my favorite Mario games. The 3D World, literally the 3D World is awesome. It's really, really well done. We also had two great Telltale games came out this year, The Wolf Among Us and then Season 2 of The Walking Dead, which I love that one. Not as much as Season 1, probably a little bit less, but still really enjoy it. I love the whole series, besides Season 3, kind of. But I have to go with my favorite. Oh, forgot. I kind of want to talk about this app called Talking Tom. I almost missed it, but Talking Tom, that game creeped me out when I was a kid, and it came out this year, and I just remember when that was all over the place, and
dude, you just gotta smack the crap out of him.
yeah, you literally are smacking the crap out of him, and he's just like says the weirdest crap. So, but yeah, just a quick shout out to Tom because he's the GOAT. But gotta go with my favorite, and that is GTA 5, which is gonna probably be the only GTA. Yeah, the only GTA game I have picked on this list. But one of the most games I've.
Liar, you picked San Andreas.
Oh yeah, you called me out. That's right, I did pick San Andreas. Okay, I'm more of a GTA fan than I thought, I guess. But oh man, 5 is a little bit above San Andreas, which I think I said at the time. But I love 5 multiplayer. It's because of the multiplayer for me why it goes above San Andreas. Just I've spent so many hours playing with my friends, my brothers, my cousins. Like we've spent so much time playing this. But I think it's a great game,
It's easily probably it's. I'm sorry, San Andreas. But I love you, and you're my favorite single-player story. But GTA 5 is the best one.
I could agree with you on that. I would probably agree with you on that. San Andreas probably has the best single-player story. Love that single-player story.
But
no.
Moving on from 2013, 2014 again. Not a ton coming out, but there are some very notable franchises that got their starts, including Five Nights at Freddy's, dude.
The GOAT.
So both FNAF 1 and FNAF 2 released in 2012 because, not 2014, because Scott Cawthon was just going off, making that dough. Goat Simulator came out in 2014,
Oh man, I love Good
along
Simulator.
with South Park Stick of Truth.
Oh,
That
I love
one
that
is
game. Love that game.
probably my favorite South Park game that
Me
they've
too.
ever released.
Same.
But they also ended up coming out with Super Smash Bros. For the Wii, which was a
Oh
great
snap!
pick for the Wii U, or Super Smash Bros. Wii U, I guess I should
Oh,
say.
gotcha. Right, it was the one for the Wii U.
I didn't play it because I didn't have a Wii U, but I
Same.
did play the 3DS version. I did enjoy that quite a bit. But also, Destiny 1 released in
Oh snap! I remember when
2014.
that came out.
I played a lot of Destiny during that time, but
I did.
for 2014, I got to give it to the OG FNAF 2. FNAF 2, so
Fair
fun.
enough,
I loved playing
dude. I
that. The
love the
formula
first
of
two
it
games.
and just the surviving, and once you got it down, it was just, I played it a lot. But that's
It's
my pick for 2014.
that's a great pick because FNAF is up there for me too. I forgot two came out that year too, but I'm not sure which one I like more. But one and two are both great
Yeah,
picks.
they're great
But
games.
some other noticeable games. Did you mention Far Cry 4?
I did not.
Okay, so some other mentions from 2014. We got Far Cry 4, which was another great Far Cry game. I like 3 a little bit more than 4, but I think it's still one of the best Far Cry games, 100%. Like, it's great. But we also have Alien Isolation, which I remember a lot of YouTubers covering this at the time, just about how creepy and atmospheric it was. I just had a quick shout out real quick. It's not my favorite pick, nowhere near, but I just think it's a fun game. We also have Mario Kart 8, which came out in 2014, 10 years ago now, and they still haven't. I don't think they come out with a new Mario Kart game like in the main franchise, but that's
No,
just
they
crazy.
just
It's been
released
10 years.
Deluxe, which is just Mario Kart 8
Deluxe
too.
edition. Yep, exactly. Just with like all the tracks or whatever. But so I'm glad I actually got it. I got Mario Kart 8 after the Deluxe came out because then I got everything, which was nice. We also had so this is another app shout out, but Spider-Man Unlimited. It's like Temple Run. It was like Temple Run and that Despicable Me Minions game. If you guys all remember that game, it was like
Yeah.
you would just keep on running, except you're a Spider-Man. I just remember playing the crap out of that because I just loved Spider-Man.
I guess I never
So, yeah.
mentioned it, but back in 2010, 2011, I should have mentioned the release of the Call of Duty World at War and Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies for the
Oh,
App
yeah.
Store.
Forgot
So I
about
played
those.
that a ton,
Yeah, me too,
but
dude. Those games were awesome.
yeah, but
So I guess we got a couple more. Watch Dogs started this year, as well as very Thief. I don't know if anyone remembers Thief. You were a thief, and you would go inside houses and steal stuff. But
yeah,
I actually had that game on the 360 and quite enjoyed it. But this one's a no doubter for me. I'm going with Stick of Truth. It's one of my favorite games. One of the funniest games. I can play this game as much. I could play it as many
it's
times as I want. I
hilarious.
never get
There's
sick
no
of
ifs,
it.
ands, and buts about it. It's
Yeah.
gross but funny.
It's
So
gross but funny, and if you're a South Park fan, you'll highly enjoy it.
understandable. 2015 was a great year
Oh
with
man, yeah,
the
2015 was great.
release of starting off, dude. Geez, this is gonna be hard to pick. You got
Man.
Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask remaster came out on the 3DS. You had Dying Light came out in 2015. The
Shit.
Star Wars Battlefront 2015 remake released. FNAF 3, FNAF 4, Mortal
4, yeah.
Kombat X, Rocket League, and then two of the biggest ones that I played this year by far, Fallout 4 and Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I played like it was tough because like I remember in 2015 it was like there are so many good games coming out I couldn't even buy
Dude,
them all
yeah.
because I didn't have the money to buy them or the time to
Exactly.
play them all because I played Battlefront in 2015 during that time. I played a ton of Black Ops 3 during that time, and I played a ton of Fallout 4. And then when I was on my phone, I'd play a ton of FNAF 3, and then I kind
Yeah.
of and FNAF 4. So it was
Dude,
out of all those, I gotta go with Black Ops 3. Just the amount
that's
of
very
hours that I have in Call of Duty Black Ops 3 just isn't even
it's
funny. But I also
unfortunately,
love Fallout 4, so
dude.
there were some phenomenal games in 2015, but that's what I gotta go with.
Yeah, it was a stacked year, and unfortunately, this probably will be the last time Call of Duty is gonna be on this list, I think. But it was a great Black Ops 3 was amazing when it came out, and it kind of like got everybody back into the franchise after a couple dud years. But
It's never been the same since.
I would agree with you. I would 100% agree with you. But yeah, so some other games that came out in 2015, very stacked year. Rise of the Tomb Raider, the second game in the Tomb Raider franchise, which I forgot to mention the first one. I think it came out in 2013. But that one's definitely one of my favorites. I loved Rise of the Tomb Raider. It was the first one I played, actually. I had to go back and play the first Tomb Raider game beforehand. But yeah, really great game. Until Dawn, great PlayStation game. Couldn't play this game until like way down the line. I remember wanting this game for so long. It was one of those PlayStation games that I couldn't get. And when I actually did get this one and actually played it all the way through. And it was great. It was creepy. It was fun. It wasn't as scary, probably. It would have been scarier if I played it when I was 12, but it was so great time. But Rainbow Six Siege came out this year. Oh lordy, Rainbow Six came out this year, which I played a lot of hours on that one, as well as Just Cause 3 and Mortal Kombat 10. So I'm a little bit trapped here. So I'm stuck between some great games. I think I gotta go with. Oh man.
Come on, spit it out.
All right. Rainbow Six Siege. I'll go with Rainbow Six Siege and Just Cause 3 are tied. All right, Rainbow
Fair
Six
enough.
Siege. Rainbow Six Siege. They're both really close together, but I think Rainbow Six is just a little bit better. But I have such a nostalgic attachment to Just Cause 3 where I don't feel right putting it below Rainbow Six. But I played a crap ton out of both of these games. Just Cause 3 was the one I played the most out of any of the franchise. Got me into the franchise. It's how I fell in love with that franchise. I think it's a really great franchise. 4 is a little iffy. I played like one mission and then stopped. So, it could have been a me problem though. I don't know. Splatoon also came out this year. Last shout out. I just had to bring that up real quick. I forgot about that one. I remember in high school when that game came out, a lot of people were playing that game. Everyone with a Switch was playing that game. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up 2015. Taylor, any final thoughts before we move on?
All right. Not bad picks. Not bad pick at all. Rainbow Six Siege. But moving into 2016, Pokemon Sun and Moon released during that time. Dishonored 2 also released, along with Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, which was kind of like it was still good, but not as, it's not Black Ops 3. If it wasn't the start of the downfall, start of the decline, unfortunately. But I guess that started in 2013 with Ghosts, but
yeah.
Or
and they kind of had.
I can't remember if it was 2013 or 2014 that got Ghosts, but that's when it really started going down. But
yeah,
I played a lot of Naruto Shippuden 4 that came out because that was a big fighting game. Firewatch is a single player game that came out during that year that is a really solid single player emotional story. Titanfall 2 came out. Doom, the remake of Doom. 2016 Doom is so much fun. FNAF Sister Location, and then Sonic Mania totally blew me out of the water, reminding everybody what a good classic 2D Sonic can be.
Right.
But out of all those picks, honestly, I got to go with the big, the bad, Battlefield 1.
Yes,
dude. I played so much Battlefield 1 back in the World War I landscape and all that stuff, flying the biplanes around. So many hours.
Dude, Battlefield 1 is what made everyone want to have the boot on the ground back for all of those shooting franchises. But then right when they did that, no one wanted it back because I think Battlefield 1 did it perfectly.
Yeah, they did a phenomenal job. The story, the campaign's amazing. But what are your picks for 2016, my friend?
All right, so the Uncharted 4 Thief's End came out this year, one of the biggest games in that franchise, which it looks phenomenal. It looks better than any other Uncharted game by a landslide. The story's really good. I need to finish it all the way through, but it's a great game. But we also have Hitman 2016, which I remember when this game came out, and this is how I fell in love with the Hitman franchise. This first game just blew me out of the water when it came out. This year was I feel like the visual upgrade. This is when it started happening. Everyone was like, man, these games are starting to look like movies, and it was just crazy. Battlefield 1, I remember people saying stuff like that too. It was like you were watching a war movie. It was actually insane. But we got a shout out to Super Hot, which was great game. I love Super Hot.
Super Hot's phenomenal.
You can just play it for hours if you want. It's just such a great game.
It's such a great
Um,
single player game. Great self-contained story. It makes you think about
mhm.
different things and
Dude,
really
yeah.
just solid overall.
And I gotta shout out an app here. And one of the only Pokemon things you'll be hearing me talk about, but Pokemon Go was actually one of the few Pokemon things that I ever played. I remember playing this at my babysitter's, and me and the homies would go around trying to collect Pokemon, and it was just such a great time. Like it was, I loved that part of my life when it was just collecting Pokemon Go. So it was just
That's
great
dope.
memories to look back on. But yeah, so I have to go with all right. If I'm going to be different than Taylor, then I would go with Hitman 2016 because of I love that game so much. But I think my favorite game out of all these games is Battlefield 1. I just love that game so much. It's like on like S tier for games for
Yeah.
me. Like one of my favorite games of all time, probably.
It's probably my favorite Battlefield.
Easily
truth be
my favorite
told.
Battlefield, yeah.
But moving on to 2017, we got some pretty good hits again because Switch
Yeah.
and all that stuff. You got Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. That was the big release that year that took everybody off its feet. Honestly,
Yeah.
I still haven't played it, so
Me neither.
call me out, whatever. But
Yeah, call us
Injustice
out.
2 I played a lot of. That was a fighting game for
Oh,
the DC
yeah.
fighting game.
too.
I played a lot of that. Star Wars Battlefront 2 2017 had a horrible launch, and I
Yeah.
didn't play it during that time, but I got into the game in 2019 when it was fixed and everything was back to being good, and I played a lot of that game. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe released in 2017. Destiny
Oh, wow.
2 released in 2017. FNAF Pizza Sim, and then
Hey.
Fortnite released in 2017, dude.
Fortnite, dude. Yeah, like, you were playing the crap out of this game when it came out, right, Taylor?
Oh yeah, I played a
Oh,
ton
yeah,
of
yeah.
Fortnite when it came out. That was
Oh,
when it
yeah.
was still good. So
Yeah, it was so good back in that.
it was good when it released. Before it came ungodly popular, and then everybody and their mother, Fortnite, we love Fortnite.
I know it just became a meme of itself.
Yeah, it just
dude.
became
was
a meme.
sad.
But like, honestly, I wasn't playing a ton of games that came out in 2017. In 2017, I was just I was playing all the games I'd missed that were amazing in 2015 and 16 in 2017.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But honestly, I know it'll be controversial, but I think I'm gonna go with Star Wars Battlefront 2 for 2017, just because it became a much better game later on in life than what it was in 2017. But
Yeah.
at the
a good
same
pick.
time, Fortnite also was very fun to play at that time, and it still is fun to hop on here and there. It's just it gets a bad rap.
And I think that's why I'm not gonna pick it for my favorite, just because I don't know if I would want to go back on nowadays.
Yeah, understandable. But I'm going to go with Star Wars Battlefront 2 for that. But what are you thinking for your
Alright.
2017 pick, my friend?
All right, great pick. All right, so some other games that came out this year, we got Resident Evil 7, which kind of rejuvenated the Resident Evil franchise after a couple duds that focused way more on the action than the actual horror aspect. I think they did a phenomenal job on that game. Super Mario Odyssey, the last 3D Mario game that has come out, and it's been 7 years, which is crazy. I believe I'm right on that. The last like new 3D game. Oh,
Yeah, that is crazy.
I'm thinking of Wonder. Yeah, that's 2D. Yeah, there hasn't been a 3D game since this game, which is crazy. But Assassin's Creed Origins, which I would say is probably the last time I was super excited about an Assassin's Creed game. I have not felt the same since Origins. But I do really like that game a lot. Little Nightmares came out this year, a very underrated game. I don't know if many of you played that, but it's a great puzzle game. South Park: The Fractured Butthole, the sequel to Stick of Truth. Don't like it as much as Stick of Truth. I know a lot of people like it more, but I still think it's really fun. It's better than Snow Day, but I just love Stick of Truth. It's just on another level for me. And then the Crash trilogy, making it possible for newer generations to play the Crash trilogy was such an amazing idea because now I'm a huge Crash fan. But I'm gonna pick now because I feel like I've been yapping for a while. But my favorite is Cuphead, 100% Cuphead.
I had a feeling you were going to go with Cuphead for that year.
I still love Cuphead. I'm still trying to beat the game 100% all the way through. It's one of those games that I can just like play it anytime, and it's gonna be so long until I beat it just because it's so difficult. But I just love the game. The animation, the music, it's just perfect.
The pain to feel the gain with Cuphead.
The pain to feel the gain, and if I ever complete it all the way through, I'll be so proud of myself. It'll be one of the longest games I've ever tried to actually 100% a game, like the most
Gotcha.
attempts. Yeah. All right. So
2019, moving to
18.
18? No.
Yeah, 2018. 17 was Cuphead and Star Wars
Yep, you're
Battlefront 2.
right. Moving on to 2018. I skipped a year. My bad.
You're good. You're good.
One of the best Super Smash Bros, if not the
Oh
best
my
Super
god.
Smash Bros of all time. Super Smash Bros Ultimate released in
Oh my
2018.
god. Yeah.
Goated. So good. I played that
Ultimate's
so
amazing.
I think that's like the go-to college dorm game these
Honestly,
days.
that
It
would make
really
sense.
is. Um, but Fallout 76 released in 2018 had a
Mm,
rough release. I still haven't really
horrible
given it
release.
much of a second chance since. I played it a little bit, gave it a few hours, but haven't really dived back into it like a lot
Right.
of other people have. But Call of Duty Black Ops 4 released during this time. People were hoping it was going to be the big revival to the franchise that people were hoping for, but unfortunately it didn't quite pan out that way. I think it's because everybody was trying to go gung-ho and battle royale and all that stuff, so then they had their blackout mode and basically
Yeah.
trashed the whole game trying to make a stupid battle royale thing. But Forza Horizon 4 I played quite a bit of in 2018, which is a driving game if any of you Forza fans are out there. Among Us released in
Among
2018
Us.
along
Yep.
with Battlefield 5. Battlefield 5 I bought and I
I never.
played like 3
I did the
hours of
same.
it and then
Same.
haven't played it since.
Same, dude. I did the same exact thing. I bought it when it first came out. Wasn't a huge fan of it, and then never played it again.
Which I still feel like I wasted $60.
Me too, dude. I really need to complete that game, so I don't feel like I wasted.
RDR2 released in
Ugh.
2018. Legendary game. Along
Legendary
with
game.
FNAF Ultimate Custom Night, and one of my favorite, honestly the last major Pokemon game that I can really, not necessarily the last, because there's one more that I did play, but it's just a remake. But Pokemon Let's
Gotcha.
Go, which also was a remake of Gen 1, I liked playing that. I got my little sister into the Pokemon series when that first released.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean that's a great pickup for the Switch. But out of all these, I gotta go with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's such a good pick.
Great
But
pick. Great pick.
how about you for 2018? I think I know which one you're gonna be picking.
I think you probably do. But some games that we got here, Sea of Thieves came out this year, as well as A Way Out, which two great games that are kind of, I feel like, well, Sea of Thieves actually was, a lot of people played that, I believe. A Way Out, though, I feel like is criminally underrated, and it's a really good game. Just Cause 4, the last game in the Just Cause franchise that we know of. It's been 6 years since this game, but there's been no word. Monster Hunter World, which I don't know how many people are familiar with that game, but that was one of the more popular Monster Hunter games. As well as, and I gotta go with The Walking Dead final season as well. It's just a great final season, and I gotta go with my favorite. I have to go with Marvel's Spider-Man, which I just love that game so much. Great story, everything about it is just, I love that game, so I gotta go with that one.
Gotcha. Yep, I had a feeling that you
How
were
much
gonna.
you had a feeling?
Had a feeling that you were gonna pick that. It was either a toss
I
up
knew you'd
between
do
that
it.
and RDR2.
I know I was close. I only didn't pick RDR2 because I haven't finished the story on it. So
Red
I
Dead
was-
Redemption 2 for any of you that don't know what RDR2 or have been living
Yes.
under a rock and don't know what that stands for.
Thanks for
But
clarifying.
moving on to 2019, you got Mortal Kombat 11's release. That was a big one that came
Love
out in
that
2019, along with Apex Legends. Honestly,
Okay,
probably
last-
one of the. I would say it's probably the best battle royale. I
like that battle royale.
I really enjoyed Apex. Outer Worlds, which was an RPG made by Obsidian, the same people that made Fallout New Vegas, released in 2019. Pokemon Sword and Shield released, along with COD Modern Warfare.
I actually did really like that game.
I did actually play that quite a bit too. FNAF Help Wanted came out. That was a full 3D FNAF game that really took the FNAF community by storm.
right, yeah.
But truth be told, my favorite out of 2019 has got to be Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It was
that's right. I forgot that game.
seriously good single player game and a great revival to Star Wars. single player games that we hadn't gotten in forever, and
Right.
great series overall, and that's got to be my pick for 2019. How about you, my
Great.
friend?
Great pick, dude. I wish I was smarter in 2019 because I just could not. I just could not figure that game out. It was confusing to me, but I did have to go back and replay it sometime. But some of the picks we got from me, we got let's see here, zombie games for some reason were very popular at this time. We got Death Stranding as well as Days Gone, both came out this year. Luigi's Mansion 3 came out this year, and staying on the zombie page, Resident Evil 2 remake also came out this year as well. But for me, 2019, I don't have too many names I want to mention. Devil May Cry 5 was really popular when it came out. Never played it though. I got to go with Resident Evil 2 remake just because I loved that game, and I've been able to play Resident Evil 2 anyway before this. And when it came out, I just thought the visual upgrades are amazing. The story was great. I do have a couple issues with it, like it's just a little story wise. I don't want to get into it, but it's an amazing game, so I do really enjoy it.
Well, that sounds like a great pick, dude. But
Yes.
honestly, I really need to get into the Resident Evil series. I just
Dude,
never
highly
have played it.
recommend
But
Yeah,
I
they're
need to.
really fun.
But moving on to 2020, the iffy
the poopy
year,
year.
dude.
Yeah.
But not
We
iffy for
graduated.
Call of Duty, surprisingly.
No.
Call of Duty
what
Cold
came out?
War came out
Oh,
in
yeah.
2020. And
I actually did
honestly, solid pick. Really
Not
enjoyed
bad.
it. Really,
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. Along with Doom Eternal released.
Yes.
That one was phenomenal. Cyberpunk 2077 released in 2020. I haven't played the game yet, but it is on my to play list, mainly because
Horrible,
they finally
release
fixed it because it had so many issues off the get-go. So that's what really dragged it down. But Star Wars Squadrons released in 2020, a great fighter pilot simulator for Star Wars, along with COD Warzone, their take on their Battle Royale, because, Black Ops 4's Battle Royale failed. So COD Warzone released in 2020, along with the classic Fall Guys, dude. Fall Guys
my
is so
God.
much fun.
I
Hop
remember
on
that
with
was really fun.
friends.
That was fun. Yeah.
For this one, I gotta go with COD Cold War. I played a lot of Cold War zombies. It's honestly was the next good zombies game since Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare. So that's what I got to give for 2020. There wasn't a ton going on in 2020 given the circumstances. But
Dude, 2020 was not a stacked year really at all. Really the only other games, Ghost of Tsushima, which I would probably have that game as my pick if I played it, but that game looks really awesome. Last of Us Part 2 came out this year, which wasn't as people didn't like as much. The RE3 remake, I don't want to talk about it. Valorant, and then Crash 4, actually. Crash Bandicoot 4, after the Insane Trilogy came out, they made their own game, which I would have that as my pick if I've played it, which I haven't. I've only played the trilogy. So, I got to go with Cold War as well as Taylor, because there really wasn't that many picks for this year, and I loved the story for this game. Zombies was great. I just felt like they did a great job with this game. Kind of forgot about
a
it.
good, solid Call of Duty when people needed it. So,
Yeah.
moving on to
2020.
2021, we got, again, not a ton of picks because we were still feeling the fallout of the last year, but we got Forza 5. That's a fun car driving simulator game. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl Remake. I did really enjoy that on the Nintendo Switch because I'm a big Pokemon Diamond fan. Battlefield 2042 came out. Flopped hard. Didn't play it.
Horrible.
Back for Blood, which was like a Left 4 Dead, a new take on Left 4 Dead, and I did really enjoy that game. But also FNAF Security Breach released in 2021.
Yeah.
And truth be told, then they released COD MW2 in 2021, I believe.
Yeah.
And then,
No. Wait, Taylor, it was Vanguard, right?
Oh,
In
wait.
2021?
Yeah, Vanguard. Shit, my
Yeah.
bad. Vanguard was
That's
2021.
That's worse than
You're
Modern
right.
Warfare.
Vanguard, and then MW2
bad
is
for the-
2022. I'd mix that up. Vanguard,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, you're good.
yuck. So they had a good COD in 2020, and then Vanguard, which I honestly blocked that out of my memory because of how bad it was.
Which is fair because it's goddamn awful.
It's just
horrible.
awful. But, truth be told, 2021, I guess I'll just go. I gotta go with the Pokemon Diamond remake. It was just fun, simple.
Yeah, you enjoyed
fun.
it?
I really didn't have a lot of picks in 2021. It really felt like a dead year for gaming.
Yeah, there's not that many here. The only other ones I want to mention is Little Nightmares 2 and The Forgotten City, which I feel like is a little bit of an underrated game, but they could have done they could have done better with it. It's not the best game. It's fun though. But It Takes Two also came out this year, which I think is a great multiplayer game, especially for co-op. But I got to go with Hitman 3. Hitman 3 came out 2021. And for me, I already had the first two Hitman games, so when I got this game, I could play all of the Hitman games together. I actually thought when I first got it that it just came with all of the levels, but no, you have to have the other two games, which makes sense. But I feel like Hitman 3 is the perfect package, especially if you have the other two games. You can just play them all in Hitman 3. I love the graphics are at its best. I just feel like it's the best Hitman game, probably the best Hitman game out of all of them. But a close second was Resident Evil Village, because that was also a really good one. But I didn't play it as much, so I got to go with Hitman 3.
All right,
two?
moving on to 2022. A bit of a finally games
Better
coming
year.
out again, you guys. Good
Yes.
stuff again. Starting
Finally.
off with Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. I played a lot of that game when it came out.
Skywalker Saga.
But Skywalker Saga, it was. I remember we were moved in together at the time.
Yeah.
You saw me playing
Yeah.
a ton of that game.
Dude, yeah,
But-
you played a ton of it when it came out.
What is it? Pokemon Arceus came out during that time, along with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Elden Ring came out. That one was the big release of that
was
year.
the big release of that.
Along with COD MW2 and Sonic Frontiers, another good Sonic game, the open world
haven't
that
played
came
that one.
out that year. But for me, 2022, I got to go with Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. It's what I played the most during that year, for sure.
That's fair.
So-
All right, only a couple other ones. We got Stray, which is a game when you play as a cat, which I think is just a fun game.
Yeah,
it's funny.
it's
game,
good
so I had to
game.
go with that. Then we got God of War Ragnarok, which was the sequel to the God of War 2018 game, which a lot of people really enjoy this game. Return to Monkey Island, which was bringing back the Monkey Island franchise from like the 90s, which was like a point-and-click game like the Sam and Max games.
Yep.
But for me, I got to go with The Quarry. The Quarry, which is it's like Until Dawn kind of, where it's like a horror movie kind of thing, but you have to do like these tasks where you got to do quick time events and you can walk around, find clues and stuff. Have you ever played Until Dawn, Taylor?
I have, yes.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about then. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I enjoy this game a lot, and I don't know which. I think I like Until Dawn more, but that year was stacked 2015, so that's why I didn't pick Until Dawn. But I think I gotta go with The Quarry. It might be Elden Ring if we had done this video in a year time, just because I'm playing the crap out of it right now, and I am loving it, dude. I wish I played it when it came out, because that game is really fun.
Oh, yeah? You're playing the crap out of it? You make sure
Yeah,
your
me
parry
and
times
my
are right?
brother, me and my brother and my cousin have been playing it recently, dude. I'm not. It's been it's hard, but it's fun.
It's on my to-play list, for sure.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it.
But moving on to 2023. 2023 was a great year.
Great
really
year,
good
dude.
year.
I didn't even
Baldur's
realize-
Gate 3 released. That was the major title that everybody went head over heels for. I still haven't played it yet, but
Me
it is
neither.
on my to-play list. Spider-Man 2,
Love that game.
very good game.
Haven't finished
Hogwarts
it, though.
Legacy came out in
Yep.
2023. Open world Hogwarts game, the first
That game was
Hogwarts game
fun.
that's come out in years since like the
Yeah,
Harry
it
Potter
was fun,
games in
dude.
like the early 2000s. But Star Wars Jedi Survivor, a good
Mm-hmm.
pick in the Star Wars Jedi series. It had a bit of a rough launch, not that bad of a launch, but a shaky launch.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4 released in
Yes, the
2023.
remake, dude.
That one's a big
Love
one,
that
along with Metroid Prime 4's
Mm-hmm.
remake. Starfield, also Bethesda coming out with it and shaking up the turf with Starfield. And then on top of that, Nintendo coming out with Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, the follow-up
my
to
God,
Breath of the
yeah.
Wild that took
Yep.
the Nintendo community by storm. On the Call of Duty side of things, they came out with COD MW3 to kind of remaster and recapture the COD Modern Warfare craze. And honestly, it's not as bad as people gave it. I enjoyed
I
playing
haven't
it.
played it.
I know that me,
Oh, yeah, I
you,
played a
and
little bit of
Trace played
multiplayer.
quite a bit of
Yeah.
MW3 this year.
Multiplayer was fun, honestly. Yeah.
It was, and then
I haven't played
on the
story.
on the indie side of things, you had games like Dave the Diver really take up a big chunk of the Steam sales, along with
Right.
not indie but Sonic Superstars. Sonic really making
Okay.
another big splash for since 20, well, when, yeah, 20, so back to back, 2022 was Sonic Frontiers and 2023 was Sonic
That's
Superstars.
consistent for Sonic. That's good.
Yeah, that's surprising. Two decent Sonic games back to back. That doesn't happen often.
Yeah, for any franchise, really.
Yeah, but honestly, 2023 was a great year, and me personally, I got to give it to Star Wars Jedi Survivor just because that's the game I was playing a ton, and I
Yeah,
did really enjoy going through it, even if it did have its difficulties and problems.
dude.
But how
Yeah,
about you for the good old year of
this
2023?
this has probably been the best year in years. I don't know years, but in a few years for sure. Like I looking back, I did not realize this many great games came out this year. But we also had Alan Wake 2, which was a sequel to Alan Wake, which came out like over a decade prior. We had two Mario games last year, sorry. Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Super Mario RPG, which are both great games. I love Wonder, though. That game was super fun. Level
Yeah,
design was sick. Like, that's going to be up there for my pick, probably. But we also got Dead Island 2, which I played a little bit with my brother. And that game's honestly fun. I didn't play much Dead Island, but it's gory. It's really gory. Killing zombies. It's always a blast, you know? What can
that's
go
good.
wrong with killing zombies? But Mortal Kombat 1, I don't know if you mentioned this, but I'm just
I did
mentioning
not mention that. That's a
Okay,
great
cool.
mention. I forgot entirely about that.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so yeah, Mortal Kombat 1 was also another great pick for 2023 as well. But I think I have to go with Super Mario Bros. Wonder because I think I played that game the most out of all the games that came out in 2023, honestly. More than Spider-Man 2 because I haven't finished that story yet. But yeah, Wonder, it's one of the best Mario 2D games in a while. One of the better ones in a
Gotcha.
while. So, all
That's a
right.
great
Last
pick.
year, 2023, fantastic job. They really
Yeah,
redeemed the last
good
couple
job,
years.
2023. Set a good precedent. But 2024, it's been a
I haven't
pretty,
played.
it's been a good year so far. It hasn't
I haven't
been,
played many
it
games.
hasn't been like head over heels amazing, but it isn't bad.
Yeah.
We had the
Right.
release of Helldivers 2 earlier in the year, and that took a lot of people by storm. A
A
lot of
lot of
people have
people
been
love
playing
that
that. That's a game that I've been wanting to play for a while, but I know there's been
Same.
troubles on the Sony side of things causing players to leave.
Oh, snap.
Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection was another game
Yeah.
that released this year that I played a lot of, that I have played a lot of. And from there, there's just games that I'm really looking forward to, which is
Same.
the big one for me. The three big games that are four big games I'm looking forward to is the new Call of Duty, Black Ops Gulf War,
Oh, I forgot about that. I'm actually really hyped about that. Yeah.
the new Indiana Jones game, the new Sonic X Shadow Generations game, and then Star Wars Outlaws. Those are the four games that I'm looking forward to the most in
Yeah.
2024. How about you, my
So
friend?
wow, dude. So it seems like most of the great games are going to come out in the second half of 2024. It seems like I'm actually really hyped about Go Forward. That's the most hyped I've been for a COD game in a while, actually. So that's cool that that's happening. Let's see. I really haven't played that many games this year. Princess Peach Showtime came out, which I haven't gotten yet. Skull and Bones, another pirate game, which kind of similar to Sea of Thieves. Not similar in a way, but they're both pirate games. But I haven't played that one yet either. I think I'm gonna have to go with I guess I'll go with South Park Snow Day, even though I haven't played that much of it, and it didn't let me down. But like, it's not as good to me as Stick of Truth.
It's
and
just
Crash
not as
Bandicoot.
in depth as Stick of Truth is. It's more
Yeah,
multiplayer based. So
yeah, and I think Indie will probably end up taking over Snow Day unless it's like horrible launch. But we'll have to see on that. A couple other games that I'm excited for that are upcoming this year is Little Nightmares 3, which that's supposedly coming out this year, as well as Ark 2, which I played a little bit of Ark recently, and it's pretty fun. I mean, I probably won't get Ark 2 right when it comes out, but it seems fun. And then The Wolf Among Us 2, which there hasn't been a new Wolf Among Us from Telltale since 2013. So it's been all over 10 years. So
yeah.
that one I'm pretty excited for.
Well, honestly, phenomenal picks. And
Oh,
ladies and
man, dude.
gentlemen,
That
if
was
you have
great.
made it this far, you are truly a legend.
You are a legend if you watched all this. We talked about a lot of games.
A lot of games, a lot of different topics, but we really
Yeah.
appreciate you guys spending your time here today with us here at the Bumpkinbros podcast. And if you enjoyed it, go on ahead and drop a like and consider giving us a subscribe, and definitely drop a comment down below giving us what is your favorite game out of any of the years that we went over.
You don't have to do every year though.
No,
Just like
out
do
of
a
any
couple.
of the years. Not
Yeah.
obviously, just pick one and throw it in there, and we are excited
Yeah.
to see what you guys are picking as well. But honestly,
But yeah.
without further ado, Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys soon.
It was fun. Thank you guys. See you in
See
the
ya.
next one.
Hello there.